Are you tired of the same old success advice that seems to be everywhere on YouTube? Do you find yourself wondering if all those morning routines and productivity hacks are really the secret to extraordinary success? Well, buckle up, because today, we're about to shatter some myths and reveal the real keys to outperforming 99% of the world. It's time to uncover the unvarnished truth about success. It's straightforward. To outperform 99% of the global population, you must be prepared to undertake tasks that 99% of people are not inclined to do. You possess remarkable potential, my dear. I understand this may sound evident, but there's a trend with numerous videos claiming to hold the key to surpassing 99% of the world. Yet, it turns out, they all advocate the same principles found in countless other videos. Set goals, exercise discipline, minimize distractions, and even something called monk mode. Are we seriously suggesting that goals alone propelled Bill Gates to success? My mailman has goals. My housekeeper is disciplined. Everyone strives to minimize distractions. These are not practices exclusive to the 1%. And as for a monk mode, have you ever observed the routines of the most accomplished individuals globally? There's nothing remotely monk-like about them. Let's be realistic. If an action is commonplace, to the extent that you can find hundreds of videos advocating it on YouTube, it's unlikely to set you apart from 99% of people. To genuinely surpass the majority, you must engage in what the majority abstains from. Allow me to present an unvarnished truth. In the realm of success, productivity hacks and morning routines hold little significance. To illustrate my point, I'll share some fundamental habits of history's most accomplished figures, commencing with my own experience. When I launched my venture, I'd rise around 11 a.m., grab a Red Bull and some Reese's cups, then remain in bed for another 2 hours with my laptop. Taste of ambition, you could say. I maintained this routine for 3 years and established a 6-figure enterprise in my mid-20s. In the first part of this discourse, I'll dissect what distinguishes someone as more successful than 99% of the global populace. However, before you get too enthused and start celebrating prematurely, no, I won't go there. The latter part of this discourse will elucidate why striving to outperform 99% of people may not be as desirable as it appears. Because, like many paramount facets of life, success is anything but simple. It's, in fact, quite intricate. So, let's delve in. If you genuinely aspire to outshine 99% of people, there are 3 imperatives. First, harbor a contrarian notion. Second, be correct in your notion. And third, execute on it resolutely. Let's begin with the first. Most individuals seldom entertain contrarian ideas in their lives. Frankly, many tend to go with the flow, endorsing whatever fad their peers deemed cool that week. However, a notable minority in society dares to think independently, conceiving contrarian notions or subscribing to unconventional theories. This brings us to the second imperative. Of those who foster contrarian ideas, a significant portion will be misguided. Their notions will prove woefully erroneous, even to the point of embarrassment. This is, in truth, the most arduous aspect of achieving extraordinary success. One must diverge from the consensus and be vindicated. And even if one contravenes popular opinion and is vindicated, they must be prepared to stake their reputation. When we scrutinize highly accomplished individuals, the focus tends to gravitate towards the final element, execution. It's the most readily observable and emulatable. Yet, while execution is undeniably crucial, it doesn't singularly determine the extent of a person's success. Steve Jobs wasn't Steve Jobs because he rose early and consumed copious amounts of fruit. He was Steve Jobs because he held a conviction, a full decade before anyone else, that computers would adorn every desk worldwide, and he was correct. Warren Buffett frequents the McDonald's drive-thru every morning, partaking in a breakfast most of us disdain. How he's still standing is a marvel. Warren Buffett is Warren Buffett because he consistently identified undervalued companies, often shunned by the majority, acquired them, and then exhibited the patience that most are unwilling to muster. Decades later, he stands as the preeminent investor of all time. Execution is lauded, but it's not the be-all and end-all. If I could identify one action that could amplify my results 100-fold, the other 99 wouldn't hold much weight. But this is seldom the case. Such game changers are exceedingly rare. Thus, we resort to videos on morning routines and dietary advice. As if consuming the same meal as Kobe Bryant before games will bestow us with his prowess. For the record, Kobe's pregame regimen included orange or grape soda and a pepperoni pizza. I'm quite the Kobe Bryant admirer, you see. Bear in mind, execution is indispensable, but it's not all-encompassing. 99% of the counsel you encounter is centered on execution. The true challenge lies in discovering that one thing capable of 100-fold impact. They're a rarity. This is why we produce videos on morning routines and dietary habits. It's easier than identifying that one elusive factor. So, instead, we move around the furniture in our lives and assert we've improved the house. If you doubt my words, meet 100 accomplished entrepreneurs. I assure you, they're not hitting the gym at 4:30 in the morning. They're not meditating for 2 hours daily because the real world is far messier. And, dare I say, more enjoyable. Winston Churchill played a pivotal role in World War II while seated in a bath, sipping on scotch. It's true, look it up. Thomas Edison, famously, would toil for days on end, resting for a mere hour each night in his lab. His secret? Cocaine, believe it or not. That's how the light bulb came to be. Oh, right, on that note, let's touch upon the drawbacks of extreme success and why surpassing 99% of people might not be the boon it seems. The first and most apparent reason is that contrarians aren't exactly popular. Many fantasize about extreme success, envisioning it as the elixir for the validation and acceptance they crave. Yet, it often yields the opposite. When I left my conventional job in 2008 to focus on my online venture, people thought I'd lost my marbles. Colleagues from the corporate world distanced themselves, and I suspect some family members entertained notions of me being involved in dubious activities. It wasn't about comprehending digital marketing. It was about seeing me struggle before suddenly reappearing with online earnings. I understand their skepticism. You must fathom that transitioning from an erroneous contrarian to a correct one can be disorienting for those around you. Extreme success holds meaning only if your correct contrarian stance aligns with a cause that's genuinely significant. Ironically, it's the relationships that didn't require improvement in the first place that tend to flourish. The second reason you might rethink striving for greater success than 99% of people is that, to be a correct contrarian, you must often be an incorrect one. Most contrarian beliefs are such for good reason, they're usually misguided. Many have tried and failed miserably, spending the remainder of their lives regretting their choices. This is especially challenging for the young, who may be oblivious to how many of their contrarian notions were once held by older individuals, tried, and